Go back and do the answer sheet message.
Okay, so they go into A1 form, which is that form right there. So yeah, do it again. And I was wondering if there was over email or whatever.
It did it right back.
Next line, page totals, all the columns. And that was how you.
I thought it was file, right? It was just a junction.
Hope so too, at some point, but I didn't want to, didn't do have another by you.
Well,
But
I
that's
did
fair.
it and I faxed it.
But you got to say that.
Project appropriation, magnetic cards.
We're gonna get an answer.
Get a refresh.
Hello, Jim.
Deb, you can email that in, right?
Yeah,
But Tara said she did it and
I faxed it because they let you do it online and fax it in.
No, I never. 2 minutes. I won't have to go to the for at least
2 minutes. Time. No, look at this. Why don't what you say?
Yes, my that's what we
Oh, okay.
Oh, if you wanted me to do crafts, you can do that.
Volume goes
Like,
low.
I looked up some crafts for us to do. Yeah, she's completely good. This time, I was like, I know what I'm doing, and I'm like, yeah, I found some great crafts. Like, you were really cheap.
So
So I figured during the day, cut out the eggs, cut out the little apples, and stuff like that. We're gonna do the shop right now. I'm gonna do the shop.
no, you don't have to.
We're gonna do the same thing, like, and all that stuff. And then just try to order in a row, do arts and crafts, and then I think maybe a game or two we could do, and that's it. And that's just the whole other time. And then we're gonna do the field guide,
Yeah, I mean, Bill can tell them what he's gotta do and,
just like, last year.
I'll have copies here tomorrow.
And when they gonna tell them?
Gabby, everybody has their papers for the next election? Yeah. You're not ready? You're not up for re-election? You're up for re-election?
not until next year.
All right. Good evening. This is regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Beacon Gardens, held on March 12, 2019. I call this meeting to order and declare a quorum present. Would everybody please rise to the pledge of allegiance to the flag of our country, please remain standing for a moment of silence for our military. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. This meeting has been advertised in one newspaper, the Daily Record, in compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Attendance?
Councilwoman Cheatham? Here. Councilman Glass?
Here.
Councilwoman Hedgepath? Here. Councilwoman White? Here. Councilman Lorenzo? Councilwoman Garcia Montez?
Present.
Okay, Council, I'd like to go out of the regular order of business tonight, so that Bill Shuley can go over the budget with us.
Motion, go on the regular order of business.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I shouldn't give you the false impression that this is Bill Shorter's budget because Joe did all the work. I'm here to take the order.
So you wanna pull that up? It might be, thank you.
The budget, and I apologize, I didn't bring copies of the full document because we have this paper document, which is no longer the official copy. The state's trying to do what they call is the fast budget. They want everything online, except they're not ready. So I didn't make copies. I think they might not even get to the fast budget this year though, because they're so far behind. So I'm gonna bring up copies of this tomorrow for you, for all of you to have. I apologize for not having it tonight. You're the sixth budget I've introduced and we haven't been using them, but I'm pretty sure now it's not gonna get to the fast budgets anyhow this year. There's a good chance they won't. So anyhow, this budget is going up, the taxes are going up 2%, which is about $14,000. Obviously, as every other year, there's pluses and minuses all over the place, but that net to that $14,000, but one major item, the RVRSA bill went up $24,000. So if it wasn't for that, we probably could have had a tax decrease.
And why did the RVRSI go up?
They are having a lot of capital appropriations in their budget, and they pass it out to all the users.
So definitely, we're gonna be appropriated that much money that we're going up.
You're going up, yes.
That much money was put to us.
In fact, that was less than what they were talking about 3 years ago. They thought we were gonna start going up like 40–50%. I hope that doesn't happen. I think they're trying to manage it.
And how much is that that it went up? I'm sorry.
It went up $24,000.
24,000.
So we're still $20,000 below the tax cap that we're allowed to go up to if we so choose. We're about $30,000 below the expenditure cap with all the banks. So you're statutorily within all the requirements. And again, you're going up a 2% inflationary increase. So if it is your wish tonight to introduce the budget, then in 28 days we come back and adopt the budget after the state reviews it. You are always state review here, even though you're the smallest budget we do. It's because we don't have encumbrance accounting yet here. That's why they have us do state review. So the only thing that might hold us up is that state review, which never has in the past, and wherever they are with the past budget on that time. Other than that, we're ready to roll. So again, if it is your wish, we introduce the budget and then come back in 28 days and open it and see if you wish to adopt it.
A little question for you. How much is each household gonna go up?
Each household will go up, the average home is $171,500. It will go up for the local rate, your portion $33 or $2.75 a month.
33 what?
Dollars.
$33.
The average home.
A year,
yeah,
a year,
a year.
a year.
$2.75.
275.
33 a year.
And that's on the average home assessed at $171,500.
And also in our budget, what was the school taxes? Did they go up that much?
We don't have that information yet because they're still getting their state aid numbers and formulating. They just got their state aid numbers last week, so their budgets aren't done. I usually don't incorporate that into our thinking anyhow. I know it's all one pot of money or one pot that's coming out of. But I always say if you wait for your turn, for them not to increase taxes, we'll be waiting forever because they're always going to go up. Most districts go up. They have a 2% cap like you do. But again, it's not a hard cap. They can go up more if they have statutory exceptions that are allowed. That's where that tax cap. Depends on how they did with the state aid this year. I don't know how they did. They got more money or less.
I think they got $2 million more.
Oh, they did? Well, then that should be, unless they plow it into capital.
Right.
That should be obviously very good for your taxpayers. That's the first district I heard in this area that got more.
Yeah, it's in the paper, but
You?
Every time I had asked you, was there a way that we could lower instead of raising the taxes every year? And every time you explain it to me, how is that again, like next year? How could we lower it?
Well, right now, to get down to this 2% increase, we're using about close to $35,000 more of fund balance as a revenue than we did last year than we replenished. Now, Joe assures me he thinks he's been talking to the banks and he's going to get more interest income this year and other areas that we think miscellaneous revenues that we're going to replenish that money. I guess I'm from Missouri. I like to see it first before I use it. So I think we're already stretching a little bit. I think it's a calculated, a good bet that we're going to replenish it. But still, I wouldn't stretch any more. And to me, the only areas of income where you could lower taxes would be to use more fund balance or to shrink the amount of appropriations you use, which then lapses that much less back to not spend or to not replenish the fund balance that we're using. By that I mean, if we budget $100 for a line item and we usually spend 80, and then we lapse back 20, that $20 is going back to replenish the fund balance that we're using as a revenue. If you came through in my example and you said, all right, let's only budget 80, and so we lapse nothing because we spend the same 80, but then we're using the same amount of fund balance as a revenue, you're going to draw your fund balance down very quickly. So it's got to be kind of lockstep. Whatever you're using for the revenue side of fund balance, you got to make sure you have somewhat of a plan on how you're going to replenish it to be level. So you could draw down the fund balance and live high off the hog for 5-7 years, draw that fund balance down, but then at the end of that time, you might have a $100,000 structural deficit. Then in the 8th year, you got to cut $100,000 out of your budget, which you could never do, without drastically cutting programs. So that's why right now, I think you structurally have a very good budget that you are replenishing what you're spending, and we're only going up small inflationary increases. Now, as to what you're spending the money on, obviously we don't comment on that. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good, I really wouldn't know. But that's what for you to decide as a council. But how you're formulating your revenues and expenses has been a very solid plan for the last 10, 15 years.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Council? Okay, I need a motion to introduce.
So motion to introduce our budget.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Cheatham? Yes. Councilman Glass?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hedgepath? Yes. Councilwoman White? Yes. Councilman Lorenzo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garcia Monte?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be back on April 9th. I will have the copies of the budget for you available by the end of tomorrow, and we'll see you on April 9th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for taking us on.
Thank you.
I guess
Have
not.
a good one.
Thank you, guys.
It's not grow up. I guess we can't ask
Sure,
questions. Just one.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna go back up some more.
Okay.
If anything does pop up where you need me, just give me a screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
I need a motion to go back into the regular order of business.
So motion to go back into the regular order of our business.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the minutes of February 26th,
So motion,
2019.
so motion to accept the minutes for February 26, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence?
Yeah, I sent information from the man that was here at the last meeting regarding the puppy mill ordinance. I sent that over to Peter at Rockaway Township, because I spoke to Barry. Barry said it's not a planning board issue, it's more of a health issue, so I did send it to Peter. I'm waiting for a response from him. Also, I sent a letter to a resident on Monroe Avenue that has a tree leaning over towards Franklin Road that looks like it's starting to fall, to ask them to please get that taken down. I had Leon go out and take a look at it just to make sure it wasn't our property. It's not, it is private property. So that letter went out. And I just need to have the mayor sign off on a certification to comply with requirements for recycling. every year you have to do something else, but the requirements are is that we file the reports every year, that letters go out to all the businesses in town asking them to give us their tonnage and stuff for recycling. So I just need the mayor to sign off on that with council's knowledge. You can sign down there.
Okay.
That's it, for correspondence.
I need a motion to accept correspondence.
A motion to accept correspondence.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vouchers. Everybody get a chance to go over the voucher list. Any questions on any line items? If not, I need a motion to pay the bills.
It's a motion to pay our bills.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Cheatham? Yes. Councilman Glass?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hedgepath? Councilwoman White?
Yep.
Councilman Lorenzo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garcia Montez?
Yes.
Department reports.
No,
None.
not till next meeting.
Okay. We went over the introduction already. Okay. I'd like a motion to open the meeting to the public.
It's a motion to open our meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you think you could do me a favor when Bill Schroeder comes back, when he introduced the budget? Could he explain so that people understand, it's beneficial to everybody, including council, of what increased and what decreased in the budget?
When he comes back, we'll have, it's gonna be open to the public.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want 5 minutes is like nothing. I mean, to ask him questions on what went up, what went down, and why.
Okay.
When he comes back, we're gonna.
So I
go
think,
for a win.
because I don't think you have that many line items that actually went up.
Right,
Probably not many went down.
right,
So I think it might be something that he could explain
okay.
when he introduces the why the budget is what it is. On the voucher 003, daily record bid for Adam and Polk project, are you actually putting that out for bid?
It's out for bid.
Okay, because I didn't hear anybody on council or mention council about it. So it's going out for bid now?
It's out,
Public bid.
it's, yeah, it's gonna, the bid opening is tomorrow.
The bid, okay, because normally council decides when that goes out for bid.
No, the engineer does.
Well,
Council never
usually
does it.
Council usually says go out for bid already. Alright, the potholes on Franklin are still not fixed. Franklin and Salem. Traffic lights, both sides now. They're bad. They're big holes.
I talked to the county said they will be doing them.
Well, they
And
need to
Eddie
do
and
it.
Hector haven't had a chance, they've been up there painting, whatever those things are, the lines and
Yeah, that's the other
speed
thing,
bump
the
things.
other thing I wanted to ask, I saw them on Coolidge painting them. What are they doing as far as the speed bumps, as far as painting them? What are they doing to it?
They're not painting the speed bumps, they're
They paint
painting
little
those
arrows on
little,
them?
yeah, but they've always been there, they're
You
just
know that you
repainting them
can't-
because
you
you're,
can't see them?
what do you mean you can't see
Nobody can
them?
see it, they paint little arrows, nobody knows what that means.
In other towns, when we go through them, you should know what they mean if you're driving.
In other towns, they paint them either yellow or white, and they also are required to have a sign that says speed bump. Not a speed bump 50 feet away. It has a speed bump sign right there where the speed bump is to let you know. A lot of the speed bumps in town are missing signage. They have a sign, but it's like way back here, and 25 feet later, you hit the speed bump.
Yeah, but you have to do that, you have to, you
You're-
can't put it right on top of the speed bump, you have to give the people time to see
Well,
that, you know, it's
usually when
coming up.
When you see a sign, you say, okay, well, that sign, there must be a speed bump right there. It's like when, they put up a sign that says, raised pothole. The sign goes right near where the raised pothole is, so you know. I mean, to have it 50 feet away, you might as well have it at the entrance to Washington and say, speed bumps ahead. That doesn't, help anybody.
Well, they were there, Jim, when they did the speed bumps, and they were all done according to the specs of the,
Well, I've seen other towns and they do not paint little tiny arrows. They mark them either in yellow lines or they paint them completely yellow.
No, I've seen where they painted like what you said we
Yeah,
did in
I've
the
seen them
center.
like that too.
Little tiny arrows
Yeah.
do not
Yeah.
tell you anything.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, it's not noticeable at all. I mean, my truck doesn't affect, I can go over at normal speed. You know, but other cars would be a problem. Let's see, what else? Oh, in regards to the taxes, I know there was talk about it, RVRSA, it was mentioned that the reason why RVRSA went up 24,000 was because of the capital, improvement projects, right? I called and spoke to the CFO, and that is not correct. The correct reason why the rate went up was because of the gallon usage that we're sending to them. And that's based on a 3-year average, that's what our bills are based on. And if you have a wet season like we had, the gallon going into the system is gonna be higher. But if you have a dry season, it actually goes down. But every year they base it on the last 3 to average it out to what you get. But there's no capital improvement project money in there for that 24,000. That is strictly based on the usage went up. So I don't think anybody should be getting misinformation about it, because I spoke to the CFO who wrote the report, and that's what she told me.
I'll talk to him tomorrow.
When Bill Schroeder's here next time, we'll bring that up.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not correct to say it's one thing when it's really not, because next year we might go down. Who knows? But again, it's averaged out based on 3 years. That's how they get our rate. Now, is there anything in the budget about a sewer increase? Because you mentioned $24,000 increase.
Yeah, there's not gonna, I don't believe there's any, increase for this year because we have enough money to cover. So whoever gets a sewer bill this year should be the same price as it was last year.
Okay, the reason why is, what is the projected bill supposed to be? 120
What do you mean?
for RVRSA, total annual bill, 120,000? It
No,
was
it's
what,
more than that.
95,000 last year, right?
I don't remember, I don't know what it is, I have to ask Joe.
It's either 95 or 97, I forget, it was under 100,000. Well, just keep in mind, and this is something I looked on your budgets, it's gone up every year. Your sewer revenues right now are about $141,000 a year. So you're more than covering whatever cost increase we have on sewer. So I think you should really think about raising sewer rates when you don't have to.
Trust me,
Yeah,
if we don't have to, we're not going to.
Well, I know, but everybody like, oh, let's raise the sewer rate, that'll raise income. Well, you have the income now, you've been banking thousands of dollars every year.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. I'd like a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So motion to close our meeting to the public?
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So motion to adjourn our meeting?
All in favor?
Yep. This meeting, it was.
Yeah, I said to him, I said, something wrong with that clock up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie fixed it, so, but I don't know what happened.
I just got this.
I just got mine done.
But this is from last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy safe
But I always go on the website, they give you an option to go on the website,
Yeah,
and I was
I found mine on the
faster,
website, too.
and I did it at work.
Yeah.
So we need to go through, and I thought I did.
So she gave me a number.
Yes, ma'am.
A what?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I always get paid
Yeah, that's
faster,
right.
but
But I wouldn't be doing